recording. Yeah, it is. Alright. I know it took me a while, but I finally got to the video. So, at least we got to the video, right? If you guys are not familiar, this video is about car flipping or selling cars, whichever way you want to refer to it. Basically what that is you buy a vehicle from one person, you sell it back to someone else. It's that simple. For those of you guys who clicked on this video, I already know why y'all trying to watch, because y'all saw the cars I got on my TikTok. Some of them are flashy, some of them aren't, but I get them for a really low price and I sell them back for really good profit. And the way I'm able to do this is because I buy these cars from car auctions. But I'm gonna get into that. From now, we're gonna start from the basics, because this is for people who don't really know anything about this. They just see I have a car that's nice and flashy. I bought it for a low price and I sold it for a high price. Basically what I do technically is called car flipping. What are the requirements to be able to do this? Basically it's simple. Number one, you gotta be 18, or at least I say you gotta be 18, because a lot of the stuff you do, you technically need to be an adult. You can do it if you're younger, but there's just some legality to it too. So like technically you can't sell cars to minors. So first step, be 18. Second step, you need a little bit of money. You don't need a crazy amount. You don't even need like $1,000. You can start off with $500. Like when me and my bro first started doing this, I think the first car he bought was a total of $425. It was a 2009 Nissan Rogue, all-wheel drive, and it had like, I think like 140,000 miles. Bought it for $425, I believe, and we sold it for like $3,200 something. So it is very easy to make a profit when you're doing this kind of thing, but you just gotta be careful. And we're gonna get into that later, but that's what you need to start. Third, you need to be able to do math, because we do math all the time on the go. You got to be able to do it on the go, fly a lot of times. So like when you're talking to somebody, you'll be in the middle of the trade and people throw fancy numbers at you. Oh yeah, you know, I know these cars go for this much. In order to do this and do that, I'm gonna have to spend this amount of money, spend that amount of money. A lot of times people like to confuse you when you're in this car scene, because like they want to get a deal. Everybody wants a deal, and that's understandable. Like when you get into this, you gotta understand that, like, yeah, I want to help you, but I gotta help my pockets too, because if I'm not helping my pockets, I can't get more cars to help more people out. So understand that it's a give and take, this car thing. But you're gonna be able to you have to do math and quickly. You know, if I want to buy this car, I'm probably gonna need to buy this and that, and he's gonna need this and that. You gotta know roughly how much it's gonna cost, add that stuff up, and you know, kind of memorize. It's not, you don't need no calculus and nothing like that, but just, you know, basic math. Also you're gonna need some free time. I mean, you can do it as a side thing, but if you're following me and you want to do it the way I do it, you're gonna need a lot of time, to be honest. And that's fine. At first you can start off with just, you know, doing it on the side, but after a little bit, the goal is to kind of make it your main thing. You're making so much money that you're just doing this full time. So there are the main places you get vehicles from. Number one is something like Craigslist. You can, you know, go on Craigslist. Oh, someone's selling their car for this many bucks, blah 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 blah. Someone's selling their car on Facebook. That's another one, just like Craigslist. But Facebook actually in my area is more popular than Facebook or than Craigslist. There's also Let Go, Offer Up, little apps like that where people just, you know, sell cars. That's gonna be the sources that you're gonna start off getting your cars from. There is one more source, which is the main source I use. I don't think I've bought cars outside of this at all, really, and it's car auctions. And when I say car auction, I'm talking about Copart. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we got Copart, we got IAA, and we got Manheim. You'll have a lot of local auctions, but that stuff is a little more difficult to get into. And I know a lot of you guys are actually only interested in the auctions, so we're gonna get into that, because anybody can flip cars, but this is just like a basic overview. So when you start off, you're most likely, if you're just like brand new 18, you got a little bit of money, you wanna get into this, you're most likely gonna start off just buying something off of Craigslist, because you don't have, you know, a bunch of cash to just up and get into this and that, the stuff I'm gonna talk about in a little bit here. So you're just gonna need a little bit of cash just to jump in. So that's when you hop on Craigslist, you buy your car. But the thing is, in all of this, you gotta do your research. So there's two phases: buying and selling, right? Or sometimes three phases: buying, fixing, selling. So a lot of times you'll find that the deals are when you buy something that looks like it's a lost cause. You buy it, it looks like a lost cause. This person doesn't know anything about cars. The car's not working right, blah blah blah. I just want to get rid of it, get a little money, get something else. You grab that car for dirt cheap, you know, 400 bucks. Use that 400, but you got to do your homework. So there's some tools we use. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna make that a separate video, like the actual process of buying and buying, fixing, and selling, because I gotta go way more in depth before you guys, you know, mess around and get stuck with a metal on wheels. So basically, we're just gonna jump into the last one, which is the auctions. To me, I believe auctions are the sweet spot. Yeah, you can buy and sell cars on, well, we do sell cars on Facebook Marketplace, but like the buying of cars off of Facebook Marketplace, there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on. You know, people with titles, you don't know if this is actual title, because you got to check. When you get a title, you got to check that the VIN on the title matches the VIN on the car. Also, people hiding problems and issues. You gotta watch out for all of that stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna find out that, like, oh, you might have bought a huge headache and you won't be able to sell it for what you think you're gonna sell it for. But also, aside from that, you gotta know the value of the car you're buying. When you grab it from somebody, you gotta already do your research and find out. Like, when you see the posting, you should already go on Kelley Blue Book, go on Facebook and see how much they're selling them. Go on just online on cargurus.com, cars.com, whatever. Just kind of get a rough idea about how much this model, this make and year of this car, and the miles, how much that goes for. So once you do all that, you'll know how much to put in where you have enough cushion to make a profit. So there's two types of auctions: public auctions and dealer only auctions. For example, one of the auctions I mentioned before, Copart, you can buy cars from Copart because it's technically a dealer only auction, but like you can buy cars from Copart, but you would have to go through what's called a broker service. And what that is like somebody with some sort of license buys a car on your behalf. So basically you'll buy the car from them. They'll probably put like a couple of fees on top, maybe like $300. They'll give you the car right away, and the title will come, probably get mailed out to you in a couple of weeks or something like that. That is one option, but what we ended up doing is something that's a little more direct. So basically, when we started off, at first we were exporting cars. So we had these people that we were buying cars from. We ended up deciding, you know what, instead of exporting these cars and car parts, let's just sell them here if they're good enough. So we had access to somebody's Copart account, someone's IA account. We'd buy the cars for dirt cheap. Our first cars are like 400 bucks, 500 bucks, 900 bucks, 1,000, 1,200. Like, and a lot of these were like really nice cars, low miles, barely any issues on them. We'd get them and we turn around and we'd sell them for like thousands profit. I remember the first car that like we bought and sold, it was like a 2007 Audi A6, had no issues. At the time we weren't really, you know, shooting for the moon with the profit. We were just like, oh, let's just see if we can just flip and make some money on it, you know what I'm saying? So we bought this A6, checked it out, cleaned it up. I mean, it wasn't that dirty in the first place. It was just a quick little wipe, you know what I'm saying? Ran through the car wash, found a buyer, sold it for $3,200. It was either $3,500 or $3,200, and we bought it for like $1,200 total. So that's $2,000 profit. And right away when we did that, me and my brother, we were like, yeah, this is where the money is at. Like this is crazy. Like this, and this was all in like the span of a week. So that's when we knew we wanted to get into the car stuff like big time, and we started doing research. I was following YouTube channels and this and that, like trying to learn about this stuff, because I didn't know much about cars. I could change a tire, I could maybe add oil to the engine, check the engine oil. That was it, really. I didn't know much about cars, but once I discovered how much money was in this stuff, I was like, you know what, it's time to do my homework and get into this. So the main way you get into car auctions is you have to have a dealer's license. And what does that mean? You gotta have a dealership, pretty much. So you gotta have a location where you sell your cars, and there's a whole process in your state. You can go and look up the requirements to start a dealership. Usually involves getting a bond. It's like $1,000. It depends, but it's usually like a $50,000 bond. And it's not like you have to pay $50,000. You have to pay a small amount, and they'll cover you with a $50,000 bond. and you need that. You need insurance. A lot of little itty bitty things that someone who just wants to jump in and flip cars cannot come up with. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're sitting on a lot of money from your family or blah blah blah, you're saving up. Then you're fine. Go ahead and I say jump right into it. But first, actually, I wouldn't say jump right into it, because you don't want to jump in without knowing anything about the industry. You know what I'm saying? So I still recommend flipping cars first before you go for that. But like, what we ended up doing is, there are people, like I said, when we were exporting cars, there's people who will give you access to their dealership accounts, and they'll allow you to buy cars if you're gonna like export them. But then you can also sell those cars here, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be careful, because I believe it's the law that a person can only sell 3 cars in a year. I mean, you can sell more than that, like you'll be fine, you know what I'm saying? But eventually it's gonna catch up to you. So just to cover your bases, we realized that, you know, when we got into this, we need a method of selling cars without having ourselves tied to every single thing, so we don't get limited. You know, you already sold too many cars this year, blah 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 blah. You know, now the government's breathing down your neck. Like, we knew like we had to avoid that, so we found a way where we could join a dealership and sell cars without, you know, we keep all the money. So like basically we're part of the dealership and we're selling these cars through the dealership, you know what I'm saying? And we keep all the profits. And usually when people do stuff like this, they'll charge you a small fee, like $100 per car that you buy, which is nothing from the profit, you know, against the profit you're gonna make. So they'll do stuff like that, you know. Oh, we'll put you on, I'll license you through my dealership. You have full access to all these auctions. You can go in, check out the cars, whatever, pay, do whatever you need to do by yourself. And also, what ends up happening when you do like that, when it comes time to sell the cars, you have to sell them through the dealership. So you have to have the people meet you at the dealership. You guys give them the test drive, the run through, and then when it's all said and done, they buy the car. There's a purchase contract. It's all legitimate, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you are a representative of the dealership, but you keep all the proceeds. So that is technically, it's not really a secret, but it's like a loophole that like most people don't talk about, because you gotta know people to get in this kind of stuff. But the thing is, if you want to get into what we're doing, there are ways, and I'll talk about it. I'll make a video on it. If you want to do it how we do it, because remember, like I said, there's flipping cars regular on Craigslist. You can do it all by yourself, and with that, you're probably gonna end up trying to like float some titles, which is like not filling your information on the titles, because you know you have that limit for selling every year. There's a limit. But if you want to get into what we do, I'm gonna make a video detailing how we actually got into it, like the process, and how to like kind of reach out on your own and find people who are offering the same kind of service in your city, and how to get into it, and what safeguards to have. You know, how to know whether or not this is a scam or not, because I believe there are some services where, I mean, I don't think there's any that are technically a scam, because to be honest, it's not like a buy-in and you're done. I mean, there could be that, but usually it's like a buy-in and it's like small fee per car, you know what I'm saying? So the best advice I can offer you guys right now, if you want to get into car flipping right now, is to save up that $400-500 more if you have more, and just watch up on how to flip a car, or stay tuned for my next video. I'm gonna probably drop it in a couple of days. But basically, it's gonna highlight how to just buy a car, what to watch for, and how to sell it and make that profit. You know what I'm saying? So you can turn around and do it again and again and again. So thank you guys for watching. I know I didn't go too in depth with the process right now, because I didn't want this video to be too long. But like I said, I'm gonna have that next video coming out explaining how to actually get to the level. This is for the people that want to do exactly what we do. I'm gonna have a video explaining how to get exactly to that process where you're buying and selling that car through the dealership without you know, being attached to it specifically, like, you know, your name on the title and all that. So thank you all for watching.